Podcast host Tim Pool loves to fantasize about a civil war in America and the fall of civilization. And this week, he apparently finished his post-apocalyptic aptitude test and figured out what his job will be once society has collapsed. Let's listen.
I'll tell you what I can. This is what I can say. There are some things that you and I, as the layman, have been granted access to knowledge. Like, how do you find iron? Well, I can tell you this. I would not be able to make you a cast iron skillet. But I do know that iron tends to be red, and I've seen iron-rich mud before. I know what iron-rich rock and thing looks like, and I know how to make a fire, and I could probably, over time, figure out how to make some kind of crucible or kiln. Might take me a couple years to actually figure out how to smelt iron and then forge it. You break it down, you got to smelt to make the tools, to make the hammers, harder metals.
I'm sorry, it got me.
I haven't heard that. That's amazing. Simon Belmont over here. I'm going to make crucibles and crosses.
Yeah.
Oh
I bet his audience right now is going, I can smelt iron too. Does this have iron in it?
So yeah, Tim Pool really does believe that he will become a blacksmith after the apocalypse. And it is apparently based on that he knows what iron-rich rocks and mud look like. That is what qualified him for the position. Although I think that Tim would be delighted to know that people are blacksmiths right now. And if he wanted to quit his cozy little job and go learn how to blacksmith, he could do it. And he didn't stop there. I've got a little more craziness. But first, Cenk, I want to bring you in on this to laugh at Tim Pool.
So look, I'm kind of a right-wing decoder. I can tell you, I've now watched so many of their nonsense, so much of their nonsense, that I could figure out what they're trying to say, right? So in this case, all the right-wing push this post-apocalyptic world. And I don't know if Tim sells the stuff that Alex Jones and the other guys sell. But then
he does.
He does. There you go. Perfect.
He sells the prepper buckets. Yeah.
There you go. Of course. See, I didn't even know that, and I predicted it ahead of time. Why? Oh, the apocalypse is coming, and we're gonna have to get the red mud and then turn it into iron and smelt it, and then delt it, and then afterwards you're gonna have to buy my stuff. Yeah, because that's coming. So you get it. Come on now, and if you act now, I'll throw in Kilm. Okay. So this is all like the feeding into the right-wing mind of, oh my God, be afraid, the world's gonna fall apart. There's demons and ghouls and goblins and pedophile rings and everything's falling, and then the deep state and the Muslims and the drag craze. I'm so afraid. I gotta buy Tim's stuff. I got to stay alive. Okay, so that's what this scam is.
I absolutely love this story. I wish Tim the best. I hope he does this. I hope he pursues a job in smelting. It's incredible to me because like every single person, like Cenk was saying, when you're talking about people who are preppers or preparing for the apocalypse, or like, oh yeah, they always think they're gonna be some leader or gonna be some warrior, or like their ancestors were Vikings. They were probably potato farmers, because there was a lot more potato farmers than there was noble warriors who have great stories to tell, you know? I'm sorry, Tim. It's gonna be beautiful. I want him to make a skateboard, and I want him to hunt vampires and just go out there and smelt.
Okay, if they actually, look, we did this when we covered the Liver King and his scams, right? So the hunter-gatherers were mainly gatherers. They barely ever ate meat. They mainly gathered fruits and nuts, our early ancestors. But when they did eat any kind of protein that was a meat of some sort, kind of animals, it was mainly insects. So our ancestors mainly ate insects. And so they didn't go around like, oh yeah, then I ate the liver by its son, then I got iron mud and I turned it into a kiln. They have all these fantasies of like these, that they would, Lance is 1,000,000,000% right. They all fancy themselves alpha males. And of course, the minute there's ever any challenge, they're like, because the number one thing that defines the right-wing mind is fear.
Yeah, and Tim Pool is a great example of fear because the way he hides from Sam Cedar, He's just shaking in his boots. So terrified of that man. But he did continue on and describe how he thinks society will navigate this post-apocalyptic world of his. So let's listen.
I think if society collapsed completely, we'd figure a lot of things out really quickly just on having seen them and understanding them. Pulleys, levers, etc. But I tell you this, man, we ain't gonna be building a toaster anytime soon. Nah. We'll put the toast over the fire until it toasts, and then we'll eat it that way.
I gotta ask, Tim, I need to know, in your collapsed society where we apparently, everything has been destroyed, we have no access to iron or tools, where on God's green earth do you think you will be getting the bread from to make your toast?
I just love how pulleys are gone. Where did they go? There was no more pulleys in the apocalypse. What will we do?
And all it's just such childish fantasies. In all their fantasies, almost everyone is dead but them because they bought Tim Pool's junk prep kit or whatever, right? And maybe they bought Alex Jones's penis pill and his brain pill, so they're still alive and they're out there smelting, right? And but why didn't any blacksmiths survive?
Yeah.
If you want to know how to be a
podcaster apocalypse.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
and they went away with pulleys. It was pulleys and blacksmiths.
Yeah, and okay, we can never make toasters again unless there's a guy whose job was building toasters, then he knows how to do it, right? And by the way, I hope to God that engineers survive the apocalypse because we're gonna need them. We're especially gonna need them if our second option is Tim Pool diving around in the mud. Is this red enough? I think I got the red mud. I think I could make iron out of this. I don't know about that bit, brother. You might want to look into, by the way, the thing that they're gonna need most is the thing that Republicans hate, scientists.
Ooh, no, scientists don't survive the podcaster apocalypse, okay? It's only people who sell slop buckets to morons online. Those are the people who are gonna come out on the other side of this.
Ronnie Chang's a great comedian. He has this bit where he's like, these guys never paid attention in class and stuff. And all of a sudden, all the D students are like, I know science. All the scientists in the world are wrong. It's ivermectin. Okay, yeah. Dude, look at yourself. Okay, come on. The first thing that Tim Pool is gonna try to find in an apocalypse is a beanie.
Tim Pool looting the beanie store.
Also, I say this as someone who speaks for a living, who does podcasting stuff. The podcasters will not become the smelters by default. The podcasters will be the jesters. Like it's the natural next fit. It's not like, oh yes, and now all the YouTubers are the warriors of tomorrow. That's probably not going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah, in fact, I'll back you up on that. One last thing. So I was in Scotland a while back, and I was looking at all the different castles, and I love that stuff. And in one of the castles, they explained what the different professions were within a castle, and there was only about 5 or so. And one of them was storyteller, because people need stories. That's how humans pass the day. So don't worry, Tim. There'll be a bunch of right-wing Neanderthals that survived the apocalypse going, oh, we need stories of brain pills and penis pills and kilns and smelts, okay? And then you'll have be back to your profession of peddling nonsense. But by the way, of course, if there was a real apocalypse, he'd wet himself. And the last thing you'd ever hear Tim Pool saying is, I'm smelting. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.